A pensioner released from jail after serving 2 months for refusing to pay his poll tax says he won't pay his next bill either, even if he is sent back to prison. Traffic chaos in York as bomb disposal experts blow up a suspicious package. And the 3,000-mile odyssey of the Lithuanian bandsman who overcame all the odds to get to County Durham.
Good evening. Also tonight, we visit the region's showpiece golf course, which is battling to stage the country this afternoon to blow up a suspicious package which was discovered at a solicitor's office in York. Nearby buildings were evacuated and traffic was thrown into chaos when roads were closed while the army dealt with the incident.
Gilligate, one of the busiest streets in York, was cordoned off as an army bomb disposal team from Catterick raced to the scene. A briefcase had been left at the bottom of a flight of stairs leading up to a firm of solicitors. Police immediately treated it as a suspicious package and evacuated nearby shops and offices, including the chemist shop downstairs. As traffic began to build up and onlookers were kept back, the army carried out a controlled explosion on the case. The area was then declared safe as police examined the case more closely. It then became clear that it had actually contained electrician's tools. The case had been placed on a pushchair left at the bottom of the stairs.
I parked my pushchair in the hall of the solicitors and went upstairs and was sitting in reception waiting for Donna, my friend, who was in seeing the solicitor. And when we came down, the briefcase was leaning against my pushchair. So we went upstairs and this woman said, "Who does this briefcase belong to?" And I said, "Well, it's not mine." And then they called the police and we were evacuated.
Well, it was nothing to do with any of us or any of our clients. Somebody popped it into our lobby. Possibly stolen, don't know.
But quite a relief that it's everything's sorted out.
We're so relieved that there was no real bomb there and we've still got a staircase to walk up.
A Cleveland nightclub doorman has been cleared of his second murder charge in 4 years.
I have gone a step further along the environmentally friendly trail. They've set up a pilot scheme to treat effluent waste from their Wilton plant by passing it through reed beds. The tap was officially turned on today and the reeds got to work. The effluent contains traces of acids which are byproducts of making nylon. As it trickles through the beds, a special bacteria living in the roots eats up the effluent. The scheme has already been used successfully at ICI's Billingham plant, and there are plans to enlarge the beds at Wilton. The 2 probation officers suspended after the Hartlepool AIDS photo row are back at work. Disciplinary action against them has been dropped and work has now begun on drawing up a confidentiality code for the probation service. Peter King and Sylvia Moppet were suspended after they told Leslie Coulson that her photo was being displayed at the town's police station, wrongly identifying her as being HIV positive. A statement from the Cleveland Probation Committee says the 2 officers admit that their handling of the information did not follow recognised procedure. A novel service for the thousands of tourists who visit the historic city of York will be launched next week. Instead of having to go in search of a tourist information centre, help and advice will literally come to them.
Tourism is big business in York. It brings in around £83 million a year and is responsible for 6,000 jobs. All the more reason for making sure visitors are well looked after. And here are the latest additions to help the tourist. 4 young people called the VIPs, or the Visitor Information Patrol. And as the title suggests, their job will be to walk the historic streets, ready to give advice and information on the spot. The idea has come from the city's Visitor and Conference Bureau.
We felt that if we can take the information to where the people are arriving, we can give them a much better welcome, make them feel that they're really welcome in York, and of course, if the staff can't help a very specific inquiry, they can refer them to one of the static offices and direct people in a way that'll make their journey as short as possible, so that all in all, their arrival in the city is a much smoother affair than it might be otherwise.
The team all wear distinctive uniforms donated by Marks & Spencer, who are the main sponsors of the one-year experiment. But the key question is, do the VIPs know enough about York and its attractions? Have they done their homework?
Only in as much that we've had to try and do every tour possible, visit every attraction, so I can't really see that as being particularly arduous, but then going home in the evenings and learning what we found during the day.
What about the language difficulties?
Well, myself, Rory and Alex, we only can sort of speak a spattering up to a low-level standard, but Sue's done A-levels, so she's quite fluent, so hopefully she'll be around to handle those.
So you're quite confident that it's going to be a help to tourists who come to the city?
We think so, yes. It's a one-year experiment, but I think the way it's going so far, it'll probably be an annual event.
Stations. The criticism comes in the annual report of the Transport Users Consultative Committee, the train users watchdog.
The two main complaints are highlighted by the North East TUCC in their annual report out today. It condemns the way in which British Rail deals with passengers who have made a genuine mistake and have bought the wrong ticket. They're told their names will be given to a debt collection agency.
There's no doubt that the present mix of tickets is extraordinarily confusing. And there's no doubt, too, that people are sometimes quite inadvertently sold the wrong ticket, or maybe they ask for the wrong ticket. So I think a simplification of the fare structure would be a start. But then I think there ought to be a recognition that people can sometimes find themselves in the wrong place as far as BR is concerned at the wrong time. That is to say, with the wrong ticket on the wrong train. Now, in many cases, the passenger will, I think, admit he is liable to pay the excess. But why should that not be collected in a decent, civilised and proper manner?
But British Rail defends the policy, pointing out that fare dodging costs them £50 million a year.
We do try and tailor our response to find out the truth, not to frighten people who are in the situation unwittingly, but to take a very firm line with those who are trying to defraud. We do use credit protection agencies as a matter of last resort only. Very, very few passengers are ever referred to them, though.
The other main criticism contained in the report concerns video display units which carry passenger information. The report says that often they're out of order, and when they are working properly, they sometimes carry the wrong information.
We've put a lot of investment into them in the last few years, but they are an extremely complex and costly system to both install and run. We need to link them to new signalling centres to gain knowledge of trains over a large area to make them work fully effectively. So really it's quite a long-term programme to provide the sort of detailed information that both we and the TUCC would like to be available.
But there is some good news for British Rail. The report praises the work carried out to electrify the East Coast Main Line and introduce the new 225 service, and for bringing into service the new 158 class locomotive, which is used on the Trans-Pennine route from Newcastle and Scarborough across to Liverpool.
Hello again from Middlesbrough.